Carrie Underwood, a country music artist, recently prevailed in a $1 billion legal battle against The View, one of the most contentious discussion shows on daytime television. The consequences? Completely explosive. Not only did this case highlight issues in Hollywood's media landscape, it completely exposed them. It started with a single performance. Underwood sang at Donald Trump's second inauguration, which led to her being harshly criticized by Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin, the most vocal host on The View, but Underwood retaliated, refusing to give up. She filed a lawsuit that revealed startling information concerning the media's treatment of public figures. With a billion-dollar verdict that might permanently alter television, ABC and The View are currently rushing to repair the damage. How, therefore, did Carrie Underwood make history and reverse the norm? Let's dissect everything.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are.
It began with what ought to have been a straightforward patriotic performance. Singing America the Beautiful, Carrie Underwood performed during Donald Trump's second inauguration. While some applauded her for avoiding politics in her songs, others interpreted it as an outright support of Trump's policies. Although there was a mixed response, the next step was much worse. The View launched an offensive the very following day. On national television, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin not only criticized her, but also ripped her apart. They presented it as a political message rather than merely a musical performance. They didn't stop there, though. The host projected the end of her career, made fun of her, and questioned her IQ. They said she had committed an irreversible error, that fans would boycott her music, and that Hollywood and Nashville would desert her. A straightforward performance became a full-fledged scandal in a matter of minutes. Carrie remained silent at first, but the response was genuine behind the scenes. Industry sources whispered that sponsors were hesitant, and the media took The View's lead and branded her as problematic. Her career was suddenly in danger of ending with what should have been simply another performance. But Carrie took a risk and fought back instead of giving up. And everything changed when that choice was made.
Here is The View link weighing in. I know you were waiting to hear what Whoopi Goldberg had to say, and I have it for you. Take a listen.
I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, people do what they do for whatever reasons. It's like Joe and Mika. Yeah. They did what they did. They felt that's what they needed to do, and I got to stand behind them. If I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right.
Of course.
And so
That's
I have
true.
to, I have to support.
Of course, she has the right to do it. What an inane point to bring them all together. Like what she's saying.
Carrie Underwood's silence was a tactic, not a sign of capitulation. She observed how the business changed around her while the hosts of The View persisted in their unrelenting attacks. Her tunes were hesitantly played by radio stations. Brands took a step back. The topic of whether she had grown too controversial for mainstream success was raised by music professionals. The harm to her career was evident, and the narrative promoted by The View was rapidly gaining traction. However, this discussion was about more than simply Carrie. It was about bias, cancel culture, and media impact. Supporters were split. While some stayed at her side, others moved away. Industry insiders began to doubt the influence of chat shows such as The View behind the scenes. Was this only a scathing political critique? Or was it a planned removal from the media to boost ratings? Then the shocking news arrived. ABC executives leaked internal emails, which were discovered during the litigation, showed that the network had actively supported a campaign of smears against Underwood. Not for the press, not to be fair, but for ratings, controversy, and involvement. The lawsuit claims that producers were aware that focusing on a well-known, conservative artist would provoke indignation, take center stage in news reports, and increase viewership. The focus changed when these startling findings came to light. The focus shifted from Carrie's alleged mistake to The View's legitimacy. The question of how much influence networks should have over who gets a platform and who gets canceled was raised by legal analysts, industry professionals, and even competing talk shows. For ABC and The View, what began as an attack on Carrie Underwood had turned into a major scandal. And as the public's attention grew, Carrie was secretly planning her next move, which nobody anticipated.
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning.
One thing became evident as the media frenzy surrounding Carrie Underwood grew more intense. This was more than just a celebrity dispute. It was a conflict over public narrative control and media ethics. A high-stakes legal battle that would permanently alter journalism and entertainment swiftly developed from what began as industry pushback. Carrie had had enough. She chose to speak forward after months of silence, not only for herself but also for the integrity of the field she had dedicated her life to establishing. In her defamation complaint against The View, she accused the host and ABC of planning a campaign of smears against her, however. Clearing her name wasn't the only goal here. In this case, media manipulation and cancel culture were being contested. Internal emails and memoranda revealed by Underwood's legal team provided startling proof that ABC executives supported the attacks on her, not for journalistic purposes, but rather to increase viewership and stir up controversy. The network took advantage of her targeting because they knew it would cause controversy, go viral on social media, and increase engagement. More unsettling information came to light as the trial progressed. Witnesses came forward to confirm that Underwood had been the victim of a coordinated media attack motivated more by a political purpose to sow division than by reporting facts, rather than by her performance. What began as a celebrity dispute had grown into a national discussion about manipulation, media ethics, and the ability of networks to sway public opinion. The pressure on ABC and The View increased with each new revelation. What started out as a small argument turned into a major crisis that called into question the legitimacy of one of the most significant talk shows in America. This case has evolved into a symbol of defiance against the divisive influence of contemporary media, transcending its initial focus on Carrie Underwood's reputation. Carrie Underwood was changing the terms of the game, not simply protecting herself. And one thing became evident with each court victory: she wasn't going to back down. What are your thoughts on this case? Leave a comment with your ideas. Please remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications for future updates if you like this tale.